Welcome to TNI's Worldview. US President Donald Trump has donned many roles down the years. Real estate developer, TV actor, mediocre golfer, convicted felon, US President, and now Willy Wonka. Like Roald Dahl's beloved character, Donald is offering a golden ticket to the chocolate factory that's the US. The price? Just $5 million, or about 44 crore rupees. Now, taking money to offer citizenship is very old, ancient, actually. There are references in the Bible, the Roman Republic did it. But what does it mean in this era for the US, the magnet for immigrants, especially immigrants from Asia, India, China? Now, US already had the employment-based or EB-5 visa program. They are now replacing it. They propose to replace it with this gold card. To discuss the implications of this with me today is Jan Jacob, our diplomatic editor. I'm Amitav Sanyal, the opinion editor. So Jan, what does it mean to replace EB-5? It's been a while, it's been around, as you have written, from 1990.
Yeah.
So what does it propose to do in a different way, apart from the money, raising the money?
Yeah, EB-5 is an employment generation visa. Like if you pay $1 million, in some cases it's $80,000 and you get a
800,000.
800,000 US dollar. In that case, you get a green card. Then you stay for 5 years legally in America. Then your pathway to citizenship begins. That was EB-5. So now the fundamental argument that Donald Trump and his Commerce Secretary have given is this: the cost was too low. So why should you give out US green card for people for 1 million? So you have to raise it to 5 million. And also they are linking it to the deficit in the US, national deficit, and the way to circumvent that, the way to address it. Raise this money and address this deficit. So that's why the money has gone up from 1 million to 5 million. So how this will work, it's very difficult to understand from now, because it will be rolled out in 2 weeks' time. That's what they're saying. So on the face of it, what we have is what President Trump said and his Commerce Secretary said. So if you go through what President Trump said, similar kind of a program. He said these people will come, spend a lot of money, pay a lot of taxes, and create a lot of employment. So all those objectives have been met. But the fine print we have to wait for. But one thing is very clear from that press conference and subsequent briefings and cabinet meeting and all that is this: EB-5 program is over. They are going to chuck that program and get a gold card. So that will be the green card for the super wealthy and the road to citizenship. And one thing again he said is that the background check and all that will be as rigorous as it was for EB-5 or any other green card or citizenship program. So the program remains more or less the modus operandi the same, but the cost of that has gone up. Now the another point we have to look at here is this about the tax factor of it. For example, a lot of people will come in American citizen. America also offers dual citizenship. So what Trump said is this: whatever money you generate in America, in United States you have to pay US tax. Whatever money you make outside of the United States, you don't have to pay tax here. But it has another side. For example, American tax regime is quite tough. And also you can't meddle with American administration or the tax authorities the way you can meddle with some tax havens. Because America is a powerful country and they have this agreement, bilateral agreement with almost all the countries in the world, whether it is mutual legal assistance or extradition treaties, etc. So if you get on the wrong side of the American law, you will be caught. Unlike you having a chance to escaping while being on the wrong side of many other countries' laws. So it will be very difficult as well.
There is a bit of a confusion there as well. Like on the one hand, he's saying it will be rigorous, and as you were rightly saying, it has been it's tough to bypass those laws and the regime. But at the same time, America is, thanks to Elon Musk's cuts across the US federal government, some revenue service officers are also being asked to go. So that is weakening the administration of the tax regime. That's, well, be that as it may. The point is, okay, it's possible to do that now. The questions that remain is, one thing he has said is, okay, it will be 5 million. But how many will be issued per year is not yet clear. He has quoted 1 million of them, which means if $5 million each for 1 million, whether, well, it's not possible in a year, I suppose. Even the US State Department administration cannot handle that. Even if it's over 5 years, it's $5 trillion coming into the US system.
Yeah. On the other side, if you look at some of the statements by Trump, his argument is like this. You have a national deficit of 35 trillion. So using this program, you will generate 50 trillion. You are still left with 15 trillion out of it.
5 trillion.
No, 35, 50, then 15.
Right,
so there are so many ways he'll look at it. If you look at all his statements, some data he says today, some he'll be saying tomorrow, and things like that.
Yeah.
So if you look at that deficit figure, that is like 35 trillion. So Trump also said we can generate 50 trillion and you will be left again in your bank with another 15 trillion. So this is the maths of it. But whether how feasible it will be and how they are going to roll it out, how many years it will take, caps, these things are not very clear. I think in 2 weeks' time things will be better understood by people who are trying to go to America.
Right. Now there are we know till now and till the beginning of this year, more than 300 people have been issued, Indians have been issued the EB5, unreserved category EB5 visas, which is far lower than the number of Chinese people who have been given that. Most of them come from, about 80% of them come from through the Mumbai consulate. Now, this opens the doors, but it also raises the cost. Is there any way of understanding how many Indians would be willing to make the jump given the exodus that we have seen?
It's very difficult. For example, why Chinese have an advantage? Because if you look at the EB5 system, you have to either generate employment in a normal city by paying 1 million. So pay some money less and go to a rural area and create more jobs.
Yeah, 800,000.
So Chinese are good at that. So it's not a very linear structure or a system. So it's very difficult to understand how many Indians will go. But I think a lot of Indians will be interested because unlike other countries, America still remains a dream destination for more people. So people think going to America is a status symbol and it's a better governed country, most powerful country in the world. So attraction an American passport holds. So even if you have an American passport, you are a citizen. So your travel around the world will become easy. Doing business will become easy. Raising money out in the market will become easy. So being an American citizen has a lot of advantage for the kind of people who are trying to do business in those geographies or trying to do things outside of America. But at the same time, you will also be under greater scrutiny. It's not like you're going to St. Kitts. So it's the United States of America. They have a different system. But still, it remains a country which a lot of people aspiring to go to. They say like, Uncle Sam, go back, but take me along when you go back. So that is a...
That's a line. Now, like many things in Trump, several things are not clear, as you pointed out. But the most important thing is whether by executive fiat, Trump has been moving towards a unitary executive for a while, but whether by executive fiat he can change the immigration policy is not really clear, because immigration very clearly, the onus for it, the right to change it, is given to US Congress by the Constitution. The US Supreme Court has repeatedly reaffirmed their plenary power. So will he be able to ram this through? Now, he has got a Republican majority in Congress, but that's a thin majority. And the Republican caucus itself is divided, deeply divided on the immigration issue. So it's not yet clear, is it? Whether...
It's not yet clear because EB5 and all these things, they all had a congressional approval. So Trump has said, not once, at least 2-3 times, that you don't need a congressional support for this. So why he said it and which way he is working around the system or the congressional processes, that is not very clear. So I think you have to wait and see and the fine print of it. In 2 weeks' time, they will roll it out, then you would know how it is going. And also the words he use is sell, like you're selling it. So whether it will be some other kind of a system, you're selling a card, you can also de-link it. For example, you are selling a card of residency. So the problem kicks in when it comes to citizenship. So if you are saying that you are a card holder, you are selling your card to come and be here for 5 years, then The next stage is citizenship. I don't know. So there are a lot of gray areas there. How he will work around all this, I think we have to wait for some more time to know. Because when it comes to citizenship, like you rightly pointed out, congressional node is necessary.
Approval is required, Now, we have seen there are several countries around the world which take money and offer citizenship. Many Indians use them, not just US, but many other countries. So we have seen some countries like the UK and other parts of Europe who have opened their doors and said, invest, generate employment here, and get citizenship. But then they have become laundromats for washing dirty money. London famously was called Londongrad because of the Russian oligarchs' money coming in. Is there a worry for that? Trump indicated that he has got many friends among Russian oligarchs, as only Trump can in a candid moment. And they would be welcome to invest in the US. So what does it mean for the black money system, which the US definitely wants to avoid?
So a lot of people who go for this kind of programs, like they take this money laundering route, which is a fact. Like they want to make their black money white and things like that. But if you look at what is happening in Europe, like you rightly said, many of these European countries, including UK, even Spain, Netherlands, they all have scaled back on this program of this golden visa and things like that, because they realize at the end of the day, a lot of ill-gotten money get into their system and it's a money laundering. But then there are other set of countries, like tax havens around the world, where people go very leisurely, sit there, launder their money, and do business. So these are two kinds of things. But in America, Trump is saying that you come, you spend your money, whatever you earn here, we are taxing you. Outside of it, you are not. We are not bothered. What you do outside of our jurisdiction, whatever. This is what he's saying. But obviously, in my understanding, money laundering will be part of it. Like most of these people who take this kind of citizenship, if you are the businessman or things like coming from that kind of a background, a lot of them use this route. So you have seen again in the case of Russian oligarchs and people like that. So this will be part of it, how the American system dictate and address this issue. But from Trump's statement, it is very clear, what you do inside our territory, it's our business. What you do outside of your territory, do it your way.
Which shows in his stalling of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, saying we are not going to prosecute that, which had been the bane for a lot of multinational companies.
But by the way, it's a very stupid law, because why should, it's also is anti-competition in my view. Why should an American company be worried about a company outside their jurisdiction saying that your actions hampered our interests? Can an Indian, it's an American law, can Indian government tomorrow say, because of UK's law, Tata in UK got unfair treatment, so we are going after this European company. So this is, the American could get away with all these things because of their clout internationally. But I think it's playing in domestic law. It's like saying American sanction should prevail over United Nations sanction. So
what they meant to say, FCPA, as you know, is an old act in America, and what they meant to say is that if you do business in America, then you cannot be a corrupt company wherever you do corruption. Now, this in the last 10 to 20 years has become a weapon. It's been weaponized by other countries. The UK Bribery Act, Australia, after working for a long time, got their own anti-corruption act. France did. South Korea did, and they use it as a lever, as a leverage against companies to say that, well, you better behave. And it's a sort of a competitive leverage that's been used around the world, or withheld strategically from being used. The other thing is, Trump has mentioned that those Indian companies or American companies employing Indians under H-1B, the biggest thing that Indian workers, especially IT workers, look forward to, can go for this gold card. Now, that's another way of saying the cost of transaction for companies will go up. It's expensive. 5 million per person is expensive. They don't need to necessarily, given that the H-1B is still there.
Yeah.
He has not yet said that H-1B will be touched. But if it comes to that, if it's pushed somehow, pushed through, then what does it mean for Indian industry?
Trump yesterday said another thing, like all these Ivy League colleges. A lot of companies hire from them. Trump also suggested some of these companies should buy this card and use it for hiring talent. He said a lot of Indian kids who wanted to work in these colleges, companies don't take them because they are not sure how long these kids will stay back. Now you buy this card and give to them and hire them. So this is yesterday again Trump said. So the green card system is still there. So it's a gold card. So H1B1 visa and that visa system of skilled workers is still there. So green card, this is not taking away. This is another card. It's like as good as a green card plus, that's what he said. So you have to see, because obviously when you pay 5 million, it's a capitalist country. So those who pay 5 million will naturally get a better advantage. And also President Trump made it very clear, it's a money making exercise. So you have to raise more money. So you have to give preference to gold card, 5 million, rather than H1B visa system and green card and all that. But it will add to the pressure in the system. Like the rule remains the same from the early indication of the gold card. Like you get a card, green card in this case, 5 years you have to be a citizen in America, well behaved, following all their laws. Then you apply for a citizenship and that process is on. So a lot of Indians are still waiting for a citizenship. So how long this wait will continue, how much pressure more the system can take, all that we have to wait and see. But my sense is that the gold card will take precedence over everything because more money is involved.
And transactional Trump is going to focus on that. Certainly. But as again with Trump, he's just airing different ideas to see which one sticks or which one has what sort of traction in the system. So the question is whether Willy Wonka will ultimately get to open his chocolate factory door. We don't know. He wants to. We don't know how many will be let in. When exactly will they be let in? The world waits. This was TNI's Worldview. Thank you for watching.